Breaking news out of Beijing this morning. Government officials are fiercely criticizing Ottawa's request for an independent international inquiry into China's ongoing crackdown of its ethnic Muslim population, the Uighurs. Bob Rae, who's Canada's ambassador to the United Nations, revealed to CBC News yesterday he has asked the Human Rights Council to investigate whether the treatment amounts to genocide. Here's what he had to say to our chief political correspondent, Rosemary Barton.
There's no question that there's aspects of what the Chinese are doing that fits into the definition of a genocide in the Genocide Convention. But that then requires you to go through a process of gathering information and of making sure that we've got the evidence that would support that kind of an allegation. We cannot back away from looking hard at what is going on in Xinjiang province.
That is Canada's ambassador to the UN, Bob Rae, as he spoke yesterday on Rosemary Barton Live. Now, Patrick Falk is in Beijing for us, fresh from the daily briefing from China's foreign ministry. This issue was raised there. Patrick, good morning. Tell us more about how Beijing responded.
Well, the response we got was slightly bizarre, really. When asked to give his thoughts on the comments that were made by Bob Rae, spokesperson Zhao Lijian went into comparing population growth between Canada and Xinjiang, and in particular population growth among ethnic Uighurs. Really, what he was trying to say was that, well, we have higher population growth in Xinjiang, so genocide can't possibly be happening in Xinjiang province, and if anything, that label should be applied to Canada. Really some strange remarks to make. It's a strange comparison, a lot of people would say, but the gist of it really was to say, well, if you make these sorts of ridiculous comments, or what we see as being ridiculous comments, we will give you a ridiculous response. And he also went on to suggest that Bob Rae studies up and avoids making these sorts of comments to avoid inviting ridicule. You know, one of the things that's interesting, though, is that, you know, in the past, when these sorts of links have been made about genocide and Xinjiang province, Beijing's typically reacted quite angrily, but here we have Beijing seemingly laughing off the situation, and one does wonder whether or not the fact that China earlier this year secured a seat on the UN Human Rights Council consultative group perhaps makes it feel it's got more clout, and that it's perhaps shielded somewhat from some of this scrutiny on its human rights records.
Patrick, thank you very much. Patrick Falk bringing us the response from Beijing this morning.